You think you know your dog, but do you really? You walk through the door and they drop into that goofy pose, front legs, forward tail in the air. Most people assume it's just a stretch after a nap, but it's not. It's one of the clearest emotional signals your dog can give, a silent way of saying, "You're home. I'm happy again." In this video, we'll break down what that stretch truly means, along with 9 other unusual behaviors dogs use to speak from the heart. And if you've ever wondered what your dog is really trying to tell you, stay till the end, because this might change how you see them forever. Starting with a classic, the Zoomies. This wild burst of energy is called fraps, or frenetic random activity periods. But for any dog owner, it looks like pure chaos. 1 second, your dog is lying peacefully on the carpet, and the next, they're sprinting through the hallway like their tail caught fire. You might smile, even laugh, but have you ever stopped to ask, what are they really feeling inside? Zoomies aren't just silly. They're joy bottled up and suddenly released like a shaken soda can. For young dogs, it's their way of saying, "I'm alive, I'm free, and I trust this space enough to lose control." For older dogs, it's a rare spark, a moment that reminds you there's still puppy spirit behind those aging eyes. But here's the thing, Zoomies can tell you more than you think. If they happen too often, it might be a cry for more play, more walks, more you. And if they stop altogether, that might be your dog's way of saying, "I'm not okay." So the next time your dog bolts like a firecracker, don't just film it, feel it. Because behind that madness is a message. This home with you is where I can be wild. And if that surprises you, just wait until you find out why your dog sneezes right in your face. 2. Sneezing while playing. You're tossing a toy, your dog's tail is wagging. They lunge forward, and then, out of nowhere, they sneeze. Not once, but maybe 2 or 3 sharp little puffs. And you wonder, are they allergic to fun? Actually, that sneeze is a secret signal hidden right in plain sight. In the dog world, a play sneeze is like waving a white flag that says, "This is just for fun. I'm not here to hurt you." It's a pressure valve releasing excitement before it boils over. Think of it like a child giggling mid-wrestle to show it's still a game. Dogs do the same, only their laughter sounds like a sneeze. What's even wilder, some dogs sneeze just from seeing you. The moment you come home, they do that little snort and bounce. It's their way of mirroring your energy, mimicking the strange ways we humans express happiness, like laughing when we're nervous or sighing when we're relieved. But if your dog starts sneezing constantly, even when playtime's over, that could be their body trying to say something else entirely. And speaking of body language, what about when they roll over belly up like they're surrendering in a war they started? Up next, we'll decode the mystery behind the belly rub addiction. 3. The belly rub addiction. Your dog flops over legs in the air, eyes half closed, like they've just entered a spa. You reach down, start rubbing their belly, and suddenly you're stuck there for the next 5 minutes, like a servant on duty. But wait, is this just comfort? Or something deeper? Because here's the truth. Belly rubs aren't just about pleasure. They're about trust. And not all dogs offer it freely. When a dog rolls onto their back, they're doing more than asking for a scratch. They're exposing their most vulnerable spot. In the wild, no animal would show its belly unless it felt completely safe. So if your dog does this around you, it's not just habit. It's a whispered message, "I trust you with my life." But not every roll is an invitation. Some dogs do it as a sign of submission, not affection, a silent plea of, "Please don't be mad." So, how do you know the difference? Watch the tail. If it's wagging loose and happy green light. But if the body stiffens or the eyes go still, pause. You might be misreading what they're trying to say, because not every belly-up pose is a hug. And here's where it gets sneakier. What if instead of flopping, your dog gently places their paw on your knee? Coming up next, how that small, soft gesture might be the loudest "I love you" they can give. 4. Pawing at you. You're sitting on the couch, lost in thought, when a soft paw lands on your knee. You look down, and there they are, eyes wide, patient, almost human. It feels sweet, doesn't it? Like a quiet tap that says, "Hey, I'm here." But that simple gesture carries a dozen meanings, and most of us only see one. Sometimes it's affection, plain and pure, your dog's way of saying, "I love you," without making a sound. Other times, it's a request. "Keep petting me," or "Don't stop talking to me yet." Dogs are incredible students of cause and effect. They've learned that when the paw comes out, attention follows. They're emotional engineers mastering the levers of your heart. But there's a deeper layer, too. When your dog senses your sadness, the quiet kind you don't talk about, that same paw might land softly on your arm, not demanding, but offering. It's their version of a hug, a reassurance. "I don't know what's wrong, but I'm staying right here." And yes, sometimes it's pure strategy. They've figured out that pawing gets what they want: a treat, a look, a laugh. Smart, manipulative, and utterly charming. But what happens when that paw isn't asking or comforting but warning? When your dog suddenly lifts their head, ears alert, and stares into the empty hallway as if they see something you can't. Up next, the eerie mystery behind barking at nothing. 5. Barking at nothing. It's late. The house is quiet. You're halfway through your tea when your dog suddenly freezes, stares into the dark hallway, and lets out a low, steady bark. There's nothing there, no sound, no movement, just shadow. But your dog's alert, bristling like they've seen a ghost. And that's when the thought hits. What if they did? Before we dive into the supernatural, let's look at the science. A dog's hearing is like a satellite dish tuned to frequencies we'll never catch. They can hear the buzz of a phone on silent, a critter beneath the floorboards, or a distant voice down the street. They also smell in layers, detecting a trace of fear or unfamiliarity long after the source is gone. So, no, they're not barking at nothing. They're reacting to a world you can't sense, reading invisible scripts in the air. But here's the twist: sometimes they bark just to test you. They've learned that one bark gets a reaction, a head turn, "What's that?" And suddenly, it becomes a game. But how do you know if it's a real warning? Or just your dog keeping themselves entertained? And what about when they don't bark, but tilt their head at you like they're trying to understand every word? Coming up next, the surprisingly deep meaning behind that adorable head tilt. 6. The head tilt. You say their name, or maybe just ask, "Who's a good boy?" And there it is, that iconic tilt. One ear dips, their eyes narrow just a little, and for a split second, they look more human than dog. It's the move that melts hearts and fills phones with pictures. But have you ever wondered, what are they actually doing? Turns out the head tilt isn't just for show. Dogs tilt their heads to locate sound more accurately, like adjusting satellite dishes. It helps them map the source of your voice in three-dimensional space, especially if your tone carries emotion. High-pitched, they think you're excited. Soft and slow, maybe you're sad. They're not just hearing you, they're reading you. But there's something even deeper. Some researchers believe dogs tilt their heads to better see our faces, especially when we talk. Their muzzles can block part of their vision, and that simple tilt shifts their perspective, like lifting a curtain. It's how they study your eyes, your mouth, your mood. And yes, they notice your reaction. If you laugh, smile, or say, "Oh," they remember. Just like a child who learns which faces get them praise. Dogs learn that the head tilt might be key konmi trees human affection, jackpot. So they use it brilliantly. But what if that tilt stops happening? What if your dog no longer reacts the way they used to? Maybe they're not just bored, maybe something's off inside. And while some behaviors fade, others spark suddenly, like when your dog starts chasing their tail as if it's a stranger attacking them. Up next, we unravel the spiral of tail chasing and why it might not be so harmless after all. 7. Tail chasing. It starts as a blur, a flash of fur spinning like a top. Your dog spots their tail, locks eyes with it like it's an enemy, and the chase begins. Around and around, they go faster and faster until they either catch it or collapse in a dizzy heap. It's funny. It's ridiculous. But have you ever paused mid-laugh and asked, why? Why would a dog chase something that's already theirs? For puppies, it's simple discovery. Like a toddler finding their toes, young dogs are exploring their own bodies, playing learning testing limits. But in adult dogs, the meaning shifts. Sometimes it's boredom, the kind that builds up when a smart, active brain doesn't get enough stimulation. Imagine being stuck in a waiting room with no clock, no phone, no windows. Eventually, you'd do something strange just to feel alive. Other times, it's anxiety, wearing a clown mask. Repetitive behaviors like tail chasing can be a dog's way of coping with stress, frustration, or even physical discomfort. Fleas, skin irritation, or neurological issues can all hide behind the spin. It's not always cute. Sometimes it's a cry for help. So the next time your dog starts spinning like a furry tornado, don't just watch. Observe. Is it joy? Or is it something more? Because not all cries are loud. Some come wrapped in wagging tails and silly games. And speaking of body language, what about that stretch they give when they see you walk through the door? You think it's just a morning ritual. But next we'll reveal why that greeting stretch might be your dog's quietest and most powerful. I love you. 8. Greeting stretch. You open the front door, and there they are, tail-wagging front legs stretched out chest low like they're bowing to royalty. It's not a yawn, and it's not laziness. It's the greeting stretch. And if you've been brushing it off as just another part of their morning yoga routine, you've been missing one of their purest emotional cues. That stretch isn't just physical, it's emotional release. It's your dog's way of saying, I'm comfortable now. My person is home. Everything is okay again. Think about it. They don't stretch like that for strangers or in unfamiliar places. They save it for you, for safety, for trust, for love. It's the canine version of dropping your guard the second you're back in your favorite chair. And sometimes it's more than a greeting. If the stretch is followed by a tail wag, a hop, or a playful bounce, it's a subtle invitation, wanna play. Other times it's just their body relaxing into the peace that only you bring. But what if that stretch stops? What if your dog greets you with stillness instead of joy? That tiny change could mean stress, stiffness, or even emotional withdrawal. So don't overlook the stretch. It's more than muscle. It's memory. It's mood. It's their silent way of saying, you're my safe place. And if that touched something in you, wait until you see what it means when they don't just greet you. They follow you. From room to room. Step by step. Up next, we decode the meaning behind your dog's shadow-like loyalty. 9. Following you from room to room. You get up to grab a glass of water, and there they are. You head to the bathroom, and they wait just outside the door. No leash, no command, just silent footsteps, always a few paces behind. It feels sweet, almost clingy. But have you ever stopped to wonder, why does your dog follow you everywhere? Even when nothing's happening? This isn't just habit. It's devotion distilled. In the wild, dogs move as a pack where the leader goes, the rest follow. When your dog trails you from kitchen to bedroom, they're not being needy. They're saying, where you are is where I belong. You are their compass, their routine, their calm in the noise of the world. For older adults, especially those living alone, this silent companionship can mean everything. It's not just about presence, it's about being witnessed. Your dog sees you all day, every day, and chooses to be near. That's not dependency. That's love with no strings. But there's another layer. Sometimes excessive following can signal anxiety, a fear of being left behind, even if you've never left before. And if your dog suddenly stops following you at all, that shift could be a sign of fading energy or even sadness. So next time those paws pad behind you, don't shoo them off. Let them walk with you. Because behind every step they take is a quiet promise. Wherever you go, I go too. And when they finally stop walking, lie down and let out that long, slow sigh that's not boredom. It might be the deepest breath of peace they've felt all day. Let's talk about that next. 10. Sighing or deep exhaling. You're sitting quietly, maybe reading a book or drifting off in thought when you hear it, that long, drawn-out sigh from the floor beside you. Your dog shifts, rests their chin on their paws, and exhales like they've just put down the weight of the world. It sounds like exhaustion, maybe boredom. But what if that sigh is actually something else? Dogs don't sigh for no reason. That deep breath isn't just about lungs, it's about letting go. In their language, a sigh is often a sign of contentment. It says, I'm safe. I can relax now. After a long day of watching the world through your windows, guarding your doors, and walking beside you, that sigh is the sound of tension melting into peace. Think of it like us loosening a tie, kicking off shoes, or finally exhaling after a hard conversation. Dogs feel that too, especially older dogs. For them, each sigh is a reflection of their bond with you, that after everything they get to rest in a place that feels like home. But what if the sighs become too frequent, too heavy, too early in the day? Then it might be time to look closer, because sometimes what looks like peace can mask pain. Always listen. Their silence has texture. And now that we've walked through 10 of these hidden signals behaviors that seem small but speak volumes, the question is, how many have you been missing? In just a moment, we'll tie everything together and show you how decoding these signs can transform your connection with your dog forever. You thought you knew your dog, their habits, their quirks, their daily routines. But now, maybe you're seeing things differently. The wild Zoomies, the sneeze in the middle of play, the quiet sigh at your feet. They were never random. They were never meaningless. They were pages in a book written without words, a language of love that's been there all along waiting for you to notice. Because dogs don't write poems or give speeches. They speak in belly flops and head tilts, in shadows that follow you room to room, in stretches that greet you like sunrise. Every behavior we walked through today isn't just biology. It's biography, a story of connection, trust, emotion, told through fur and eyes and movement. And now you have the key. So the next time your dog does something small, something you almost overlook, pause, watch, feel. Because that might be their way of saying something they've never said out loud: you matter, you always have. If this video helped you understand your dog just a little more, stay close. In the next one, we'll decode the wagging tail and why it's not always a sign of joy. Because sometimes the happiest signal can carry the heaviest warning. You won't want to miss that. Tell me below, which of these signs have you seen in your dog? Which ones surprised you most? You've just learned the language of love, and your dog's been speaking it all along.